The mist rolled thick over the dense pine forest, the kind of silence that presses against your ears. Deep within those shadows, a discovery would soon be made, one that would shake an entire town and echo far beyond. A rescue team, out on a routine patrol near the Black Ridge National Park boundary, had followed what they thought were animal footprints. But after a few kilometers, they found something else. Something human. A boy, no older than 9, barefoot and covered in grime, sat perched on a fallen tree like a hawk. His eyes scanned the rescuers, not with fear but awareness. He didn't run. He didn't speak. He just stared, and what he eventually said would leave even the most hardened officers stunned. He was first spotted by Officer Lila Moreno, a forest ranger with over 20 years of service. "I've dealt with lost hikers, bear attacks, even smugglers," she told reporters later. But that boy, he wasn't lost. He looked like he belonged there. The boy was identified only as Noah. He didn't offer a last name. No ID. No documents. No shoes. Just a torn shirt and pants made of stitched-together animal hide and old fabric scraps. His skin was sun-darkened, his hair tangled, and his eyes, icy blue, seemed to hide something ancient. When they asked him how long he had been living in the forest, he simply replied, "Since the fire." Everyone assumed he meant a campfire accident or a house fire in the nearby town. But the further they looked into his story, the more bizarre it became. At the Children's Protective Services facility, Noah sat quietly, eating raw carrots and drinking from a tin cup. When a social worker asked him if he wanted pizza or candy, he shook his head. "I don't eat that. The birds don't either." Confused, the worker pressed on. "Do you have any family we can call?" Noah replied, "I had a mother, but she went into the fire." When they tried to clarify if she had died in a house fire, he looked blankly and said something no one expected. "Not a house. The fire in the sky. The one who spoke." The room went quiet. The fire. It wasn't the first time someone had mentioned a strange fire in those woods. Years ago, 9 years ago, in fact, residents in the surrounding towns had seen what many believed was a meteor or an explosion. The sky had lit up red, the trees scorched in a sudden flash. Emergency services responded, but found nothing. No crash site, just a patch of forest where everything had been incinerated, but only in a perfect circle. That incident was quietly buried under bureaucracy. No cause, no conclusion. Now this boy was saying he'd been living in the woods since then. Was it even possible? A breakthrough came when Detective Ray Jansen, a former cold case investigator turned private consultant, dug through missing persons reports from a decade earlier. There was a report dated September 16th, 2016. A missing infant, Noah Brinley, 9 months old, vanished during a family camping trip in Black Ridge National Park. Parents presumed dead after their charred vehicle was found a few kilometers away. The case had been ruled an accident, but nobody was ever found. Only ashes. "It can't be him," Jansen whispered, staring at the photos. But the eyes, those same blue eyes. DNA testing was requested immediately. Meanwhile, the boy remained quiet, observing, listening, and sketching birds in incredible detail on paper napkins. Dr. Elena Marquez, a child psychologist brought in to evaluate Noah, noted something curious. His speech was broken, not in the way of neglect, but of someone who spoke another language first. He often uses metaphorical phrases, "the trees whisper," or "the sky drinks light." It's poetic, almost tribal. When asked who taught him to speak, Noah said, "The tall man with no face." At first, everyone thought it was trauma-induced fantasy. But when he was given access to a laptop, he opened a drawing app and sketched something that chilled the entire room. A figure, long and spindly, standing in a circle of firelight. No face, no mouth, just light where a face should be. Noah captioned it, "He kept me safe." The DNA test came back, 99.9% match. Noah Brinley, the infant presumed dead in 2016, was alive. But now came the questions that no one could answer. How had a 1-year-old survived alone in the forest for 8 years? Who, or what, had raised him? In a globally broadcast segment aired on international news networks, Noah sat for a carefully structured interview. Host, Do you remember your parents? Noah nods, she sang to me. He had warm hands, but they're ash now. Host, did someone take care of you in the forest? Noah paused, then said, Nature took care of me. And the Watcher. Host, who is the Watcher? He doesn't have a name. He speaks in my dreams. He told me not to go near the edge. He said the world out there would forget who I am. Host, are you afraid of him? No, he's afraid of you. The room went silent. After being placed in temporary foster care, more strange reports came in. Noah never caught a cold. He slept lightly, barely 4 hours a night. Animals, including typically aggressive ones, seemed drawn to him. He could mimic bird calls and animal cries with eerie precision. Trees where he sat would drop pine cones without wind. A volunteer even swore that a dying plant on the windowsill bloomed again after Noah touched it. Was it just folklore or something else? Some scientists whispered theories of adaptation, survival instincts, or even psychic imprinting. A few, less restrained, used words like intervention. Authorities returned to the scorched site from 2016 and, while digging, discovered something astonishing. A leather-bound journal, miraculously preserved in an old hollow tree. Inside were entries written by Rachel Brinley, Noah's mother. Her last entry was dated the night of the fire. Something fell from the sky. The forest lit up like day. We're hiding, but I think it's too late. If anyone finds this, please know, we try to protect him. He's different. They came for him, not us. That page was stained with ash and blood. In a final televised appearance before being moved to an undisclosed location for his protection, Noah looked into the camera and spoke directly to the world. You think I survived the forest, but the forest survived me. The world you built, it forgets. It destroys. But there are places older than memory, places that remember you. And they're watching. The host chuckled nervously. Watching what, Noah? Noah smiled. Waiting. And with that, the boy stood up, walked away, and the feed cut to black. Officially, Noah Brinley was taken into custody by Federal Child Welfare Services, placed into a secure therapeutic program for extreme trauma survivors. Unofficially, he vanished a month later. No school enrollment, no medical records, no trafe. Some say he was taken by a secret agency. Others believe he returned to the forest. A few swear they've seen him, older now, standing alone on mountain ridges, staring at the sky. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. A boy once lost in the woods came back, not as a victim, but as a messenger. In a world, it still hasn't figured out what the message really was.